Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. And today I have another breakup story to share. And if you have a breakup story you want to share, please visit writemac.com. Send your story in, and I could make a video just like this giving you my take on your breakup story. If you'd like to take it a step further and book a live coaching session, talk to me on FaceTime or Skype. That's also available. Get a little deeper, get some more clarity, and develop some kind of strategy to move forward. Okay, if you like this video, throw me a like. If you don't like it, that's fine. If you want to subscribe, hit the red button. If you want to hit that bell and get updates every time there's a live stream, which is daily, that's also available. And if you have a comment for this individual to help them out, please put it down below. Let's get into it. Hi, Mac. My name is, I don't say names. I had attended your live before. I wanted to give you the whole story on what's going on in my relationship. Folks, I do a live stream pretty much every day now. If you have some small, short questions, please come in and join. And it's a nice group of people talking about their breakups and some other things too. I wanted to give you the whole story on what's going on in my relationship. I've been with my boyfriend for 9 months. We started off really good, as most all relationships do. The last time I seen him was back in January. He shows no effort, doesn't communicate with me anymore. I'm always initiating everything. Okay, has it been like that since the beginning? And what do you think was the start of that? Which I know is a huge problem. Well, you're chasing him, and at some point, sometimes this is attractive for women, but at a certain level, it isn't. But you need to know what's the root of the problem. Is this just who he is in a relationship? Because at 9 months, you're still learning each other. Okay, even if you read people really well and you've known a lot of people over the years, you seem like you're seasoned. You're like, still, if you're in a 9-month relationship, there's certainly be some things that pop up, and you're like, oh shit, I didn't know you did that, or I didn't know this was about you. Because the first 6 months, everyone's on best behavior. Everyone's at their best. Everyone's taking a shower, putting on the nice lotion, putting on some cologne or some perfume. They're putting on their best face. They're getting ready to go out. About 9 months, a year, and then when you live together, you're like, oh shit, I didn't know that about you. So you're still learning each other. And so if this is his style of communication and you don't like it and you keep making an effort and he's not meeting you halfway, well, maybe you guys aren't meant to be together long term. For doing that, I have given him a reason to be lazy and not need to do things he should be doing in the relationship. Well, early on in the relationship is when you set expectations. And, for example, if you're someone that, let's say you start living together and you do the dishes, and you just do the dishes all the time, and then 6 months or a year go by and you're like, why don't you do the dishes? Well, you did the dishes every day for 6 months or a year or 3 months. So the other individual has trained themselves that that's an expectation that they don't need to meet. Does that make sense? He has completely taken me for granted and is comfortable not making me feel wanted in this relationship. Okay. Is this something that you felt in past relationships? Is this a pattern you've run into? Because it might be something that you're filtering for and you're not aware of it, but you accept it, and then all of a sudden you get fed up with it and you get upset. I'm tired, hurt, and ready to walk away, but I'm having a very hard time doing so. Well, if that's the case, those are 3 things a relationship's a place to go to grow, get support, have connection, trust someone. Being tired and hurt are 2 things that you don't want to be a part of your relationship on a regular basis. So maybe you need to step back. And why are you having a very hard time walking away would be my question. I started a no contact at the end of this month. I'm doing it for a few reasons. Number 1, to give myself space away from him since I'm always contacting him. Good idea. Number 2, to have him come to me, to have him wonder what I'm doing and miss me. Well, I would say number 1's the better one. The idea that you're doing that to make sure that he comes to you, if it's meant to be, it'll be. If he comes to you, it'll be. But the idea that you have some kind of expectation, this might let you down and make you feel a little bit worse. Number 3, to hopefully this will show him what it feels like to be ignored and me not to worry about him and have him realize he has taken me for granted and to fix his behavior. Well, that's certainly possible. A lot of things will be going through his mind. But if it doesn't go as planned, if he doesn't appreciate you, if he does take you for granted, if he doesn't fix his behavior, this is also a win-win because you'll get some clarity moving forward. At 9 months, you'll stop wasting your time and go, what? I pulled away. I gave him some time to think about his actions, to be accountable, and to see how serious he is about this relationship. And if he doesn't contact me now, at least I know he's not a keeper. That's fine. That's clarity. Now you can move back into being single again and maybe rework a new relationship that might be more fitting for you. I don't know if he ever will, but I need this time to get my head together and prepare to walk away if this goes past 45 days. Well, why do you have 45 days set? 45 days could be your finish line, and then you can reassess things. But 45 days doesn't necessarily guarantee any contact within that time. I know I deserve much better from someone else, but he has my heart, which makes it even harder to leave. Okay, so in what way does he have your heart? Would be my question. And again, has this happened to you before? Have you been in a similar situation in a breakup? Are you replaying a similar scene that you've had in past relationships? I know what I need to do, and I know I'm not losing anything, but I'm in love with him. It kills me every day I think about him and what isn't happening. I always tell people this. It's really choose your words wisely. That's a highly dramatic word to use in a breakup of 9 months. I'm being honest. When you say that, it's like, can we reframe that from it kills me every day? Because the words you use with yourself, they have an effect on your subconscious. They have an effect on how you feel about things. I'm not telling you to create a rosy situation out of it, but if you said something like, it's really getting tough every day, but I know I'm doing the right thing. I know that no contact at this point because things are going nowhere. The idea that it kills you every day, your subconscious will make that true. Be careful with using words like that. Yes, I could move on and be with someone else, but I'm also the type of person, if there's something I want, I'm focused on that. Well, that's good. That serves you probably in business. That probably serves you in a lot of other areas in your life. But when it's another human being, it doesn't. It can be obsessive. It could be annoying. And people have their own way of doing things. And people like this, like I said, if you're focused, you usually probably get what you want. When it's another human being, it doesn't work that way usually. And it actually is counterintuitive because you're leading with force and you're leading with intense focus, and it can throw people off. If you wanted to do a live coaching, we could get a little deeper on that. That one thing. I would like your help with this. What am I doing wrong? Well, it sounds like if you're not being appreciated, I think no contact's a good place to go right now. Being very clear on what the breakup was about, rather than just him not appreciating you. What was the individual events is something I would talk about in a live coaching call. Like what's the actual things that occurred? Are you blowing them out of proportion? Are you, these serious things? Has this been a reoccurring theme before? Again. But from what I can see and what I can hear, there's not something. The only thing I would say is going into no contact with the expectation of hoping and wishing that he comes back and comes to his senses. What you want to go into no contact for at this point is to get to a point where you're level-headed again and you really assess this relationship for what it is and his actions for what they are. And ask yourself, when we get to a certain age, a lot of people, unless they want to change, don't change. Their character and their traits are their character and their traits unless they change a job, unless there's a death in the family, unless there's some kind of crisis. And a breakup can be that crisis. So when you go into breakups, if someone really misses you, then they will reassess their character and make some changes. Now, if he doesn't, that's your clarity and you still win, because the idea that you've now basically thrown out, all right, if I did leave, how much does this relationship mean to you? So I think you're doing the right thing. Just slow up on what you expect to come next and focus on yourself as an individual, focus on your family, focus on your friends, focus on your job, because you said you have a strong level of focus. Now channel that into something else. Will this time help me realize that what he will lose? Well, that's up to him, and I don't know his particular situation. I don't know specific details to give you more of a tailored response to that. Why doesn't he care? I don't know. Again, I would have to know more about him as an individual. I'm sure he cares at a certain level, but really what you're doing here is a discovery mission to see, right? You've been together 9 months. You don't know each other as well as you think probably, and he's going to tell you who he is right now. So many questions. Things haven't always been this way. I just want to know where the disconnect came from. Well, the disconnect came from, according to you, a total lack of communication and appreciation. That's where you say the problem is. You're making all the effort and doing all the chasing, and you're sick of it. Sorry about the long, drawn-out story, but I wanted to give you so much. I'm looking forward to your advice and insight. So I hope that helps you. Please visit writemac.com if you have a breakup story you want to share, or if you'd like to book a live coaching session.